it's great when you go for the job, you work hard, and then suddenly, bang, you get the phone call. You've got the job,
Yeah.
and with that comes pressure, because Glentoran, they may have slipped in recent times, but they're still Glentoran. They're a big crowd. There's a big history there. There's a big tradition. There's pressure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's pressure in every position, every walk of life, no matter what you do. You know, no more pressure on me than there is a guy trying to earn ends meet to provide for his family. You know, it's pressure is what you make of it. Like, you know, what I mean, I enjoy the pressure, like in terms of the pressure from within to succeed. You know, I want to be a success, and I don't really get too much external pressure. I don't feel it as much now there, to be honest, rather than the pressure I put on myself. I know how hard I want to work to get this success, and I'm a big believer in, obviously, the harder you work at anything that you do, then the luckier you'll get, and the more successful you give yourself a chance of being. But yeah, it's such a big club. I don't think you realise just how big it is until you're actually in amongst it, and you see so many people doing so many things behind the scenes. They all want the same thing, though. They're all pushing in the same direction, and I think that's something I've brought to it, as well as maybe giving it a little bit of a lift and a wee bit of enthusiasm. But the potential was there. Like, I didn't go into this here with my eyes shut. I went in, I did my homework, I went and watched 6, 7, 8 games before I actually even got to the interview process. Whenever the job then came available, I went and watched games. I seen where I thought was lacking. I seen what I thought was good. You know, there was good points, there was negative points, you know, otherwise I wouldn't have been offered the job in the first place if there wasn't. I seen areas not there where I felt I could improve the team, and I went in and I was just honest with everything that I said to the board, and I don't say things I don't believe I can deliver on, and it's up to me to make sure I do, to justify their faith in me.
Have the players responded to you? Are they buying into your vision for Glentoran?
I think they're a good bunch of lads. Yeah, I do. I believe
Are they good enough? But
yeah, absolutely, they're good enough. They have to believe that first and foremost, Adrian. I think for too long, you know, they maybe just lost that little bit of belief, and that happens whenever you don't win games and momentum just fades away, and it's a very, very tough cycle to break. But they broke that cycle. Obviously, you know, we were desperately unlucky. I only got the job on the Thursday. We were desperately unlucky now to take something from that Linfield game on the Saturday. We built on it with a point at Ballymallard where we were a little bit flat in terms of the performance, but I maybe pulled my hand up myself and said I probably overtrained them that week. They probably did a little bit too much, and then they were slightly jaded on the Saturday. But then off the back of it, you're Dungannon, we took points off them down there.
Robbery, sheer robbery, tell the truth.
we took the points off Dungannon down there whenever they were flying, so we did. We took points off Cliftonville whenever they've been flying as well, so that's going to help with the belief. And you can't overlook at massively the sheer numbers of injuries that we have, and quite bad injuries at that. You know, Stevie McAlorum is one that's always very close to coming by, but he's been a big player for the club since he signed. We're missing him. We're missing Willie Garrett, who's just done a cruciate again, who's been a bad loss, who's potentially one of the best centre-halves in the Irish League. You're missing Steve O'Flynn, who's a star striker who came in hopefully to get us goals and be a foil for the other players that we have. You know, Stevie's been out, he's tore a tendon in his groin, so he has. You know, David Scullion has a tear in his hip flexor, so he has. Jay McGee's been out with a bit of a hamstring. Curtis had an operation recently in his mouth to take care of a long-standing abscess that he's had in his mouth, you know. So these are 6, 7, 8 players who would walk into most first teams, you know, in the Irish League, or certainly kind of provide them a good option. I would love to have them boys back, but the boys that have been playing have been given the opportunity, and they're showing that they want to stay at the club. You know, I keep on reinforcing it and forcing it. Once you leave a club like Glentoran, there's not many clubs like it, you know what I mean? There's not many clubs who provide what the club provide for them, and the following that we get, and the fan base that we have, and the support that you get around the ground and stuff. And you know, they can't hide, Adrian. They got to be big enough to fill that shirt. You know, the shirt, I take a Jock Stein one, a shirt will not shrink to fit inferior players. You know, it's something that stayed with me for a long time. You know, like, you have to be big enough to handle that sort of pressure. But it's up to me to kind of maybe take the pressure a little bit off the boys and let them just enjoy playing, and let them go out and work as hard as they can.